Okay, sorry for the disturbance. Let's restart. Okay, so what I am telling you that about the dot product on the cross product and dot product. The cross product is again related with the vectors. Cross product is related with vectors. So what is the difference between the dot product and the cross product is that in the dot product you are getting only the scalar values, and in the cross product you are getting the vector value, and that's why it will be consist of a bar cross b bar is equal to a into b into sine of theta into a unit vector. Now just tell me, what is the direction of the unit vector in the cross product? What is the direction of the unit vector in the cross product? It should be in the direction perpendicular to both of the vectors, isn't it? So if it is in the, if one vector in the x, another vector in a y, then your unit vector should be in the z direction. We have already seen it. You have to move in an anti-clockwise direction, then a unit vector is given in the positive direction, and if you are moving in a clockwise direction, then the unit vector are moving in the negative direction. Okay, so all of you get it yesterday's lecture, or still any problem? All of you get it? Please give me the reply. Please take the part in the discussion. All of you get it yesterday's lecture, or still any problem? So let me inform it by once. Now for the, we are going to be started down our this new concept. We have just checking out this today's session. This one is related with the electrostatic laws. It is related with the electrostatic law. That one is given in your syllabus. So first of all, we are here. We are just starting down some kind of laws for this session. Now today's session, we are going to just see one kind of law. It is nothing but related with the Coulomb's law. Okay, it is related with the Coulomb's law. I explain it. The electrical charge is the fundamental property of the matter. We have already seen that any of the charge, any of the matter means any of the object in a space, that is nothing but having some kind of an electrical charge, and that charge exists in the integral multiple of the electronic charge. Okay, so any of the matter, any of the object, it is having some kind of the force, and that's why it is on a constant. That force we can be expressed in a form of some kind of charges. The electrostatics can be defined as the study of the electrical charge at an rest. Whenever there is an object, matter, anything in the space, it is nothing but called as the matter. So it is at the resting position or it is in a movement position. So though it is in a resting position, the responsible parameter for that resting is nothing but an electrical charge. Why it is, I will be explaining it in detail. Okay. So this one is a reason that we are going to be deal with the electrostatics. It is a study of the electrical charge at the rest. Electric fields have their sources in the electrical charges. Whenever I'm saying that there is an electrical field, means what? There is some kind of an electrical charge is present. In our earlier introductory lectures, we have already seen that whenever there is an electrical charge, a magnetic field is going to be created automatically. Or conversely, we can say that if there is a magnetic field, then there is an electrical charge is present. Okay. So we are going to be deal in detail about these electrical charges with this kind of laws. Now what happens in this electrical charge means, we observe there are the two electrical charges, that is a positive electrical charge and the negative electrical charge. It is a quite obvious one. We have already known that the opposite charges attract with each other. Positive and a negative charge are attract with each other, and the same polarized charges going to repel with each other. Okay, this one is a basic quantity, that is a quality, that is like charges repel with each other and the opposite charges attract with each other. What is the unit of the charge? It is nothing but a coulomb, please remember, and its notation is given with a C. So these all one things are required. This one is just for your kind information. What is the charge or unit of a charge? It is nothing but a coulomb. It is denoted with the capital letter as a C. The smallest unit of free charge known in a nature is the charge of an electron or the proton, which one has a magnitude as 1.602 into 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb. So if it is on a positive charged particle, then it is called as a proton. If it is on a negative charged particle, it is called as an electron. Okay, and it is having some kind of a fixed magnitude. It is 1.602 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Now this one is related with the only charge. That means what, in a short, what we have to discuss is that any of the matter, any of the object in the free space, if it is in the resting position or in a moving position, it is having some kind of the charge. It is a positive charge or it may be a negative charge. They are in a attracting more position or they in the repelling position, whatever it is. But we are saying that by default there is the object, it is experiencing some kind of a charge. Okay, now we are going to study what is the amount of a charge and how it is going to be act on any of the object, and that is going to be stated with the law. That one is called as a Coulomb's law. Now before that, we will be just going to be considered on a 116, where there are the 2-point charges are available named as Q1 and Q2. Okay, assume that there are the two charges named as Q1 and Q2, and they are separated by the distance, let's say R, in a vacuum. Okay, in a vacuum. Then the force exerted by the Q1 charge on Q2 charge is given by the Coulomb's law, isn't it? So there are the two charges, Q1 and Q2. Now the force is exerted by Q1 on Q2, or the charge may be exerted on Q2 on Q1. Okay, now we are going to just study it in detail also. So the Coulomb's law states that, what is the statement of a Coulomb's law is that the force between the two charges, which are named as Q1 and Q2, okay, the force between the 2-point charges, the point charges are named with Q1 and Q2, the force acting between them is directly proportional to the product of charges. Directly proportional to the product of the charges and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Please write down this statement. The Coulomb's law states that the force acting on the 2-point charges Q1 and Q2 is directly proportional to the product of the charges and inversely proportional to the distance, square of distance between them. Here we are assumed that there are the point charge. So point charge is nothing but a hypothetical charge which one is located at a single point in a space. Okay, hypothetical. Actually point we are not going to just see in a space. So we are hypothetically assuming that there is a point charge in a space. It is an idealized model of a particle having an electrical charge. So these are the assumptions we have made. Now, in this situation, if there are this kind of the charges, that I want to just tell you that, if let's consider this is in a blue colored point is indicating the charge named as a Q1, and this red color charge I am going to be point is going to be named as a Q2 charge. Then if they are of the opposite polarity, that is positive and one negative, then they're going to be attract. So they are indicating with this direction. They are going to be separated with the distance as an R. If they are in either they are going to be, now in this position, in this case the Q1 may exert the charge on the Q2, or Q2 may exert the force on the Q1. So this is called as an opposite signs attract with each other, and if both having the same charge, that is red is one kind of a charge, you can assume that is Q1 having the same charge, Q2 having the same charge, then they are moving in the opposite direction with from each other, that we are saying that they are going to be repel with each other. Okay, so they having same, that if red is the positive charge, if we are assuming, then blue is the negative charge, both having the same charges, both of these points having the same charges, and that's why they are going to be repel. And if they are going having the opposite charges, then going to be attract. So let's, this one is nothing but the, again I am going to be try within the same one. This one is on a charge Q1, Q2, this one is on a distance between them. If they are they, as this one is on a plus plus, means they having the same charge, so they are going to be repel, means that means what, they are experiencing the force on the opposite direction. This one is the force F12, means what, this one is on a force repelling on the charge Q1 by the charge Q2. What it on which one is going to be experiencing the force? This one is experiencing the force on the Q1 due to Q2, and this one is on the 2 charge 2 due to the Q1. So this one is on a vector quantity. Okay, so this is the same thing I have just explaining over here. This one is repelling, this one is for the attracting position. So this one is on a Q1 having the charge as a positive, this one is on a Q2 having the charge as a negative. Then this, just remembering, just go for the direction. This one is one kind of a force. What is this force? It is 2 1. And what is this force? It is 1 2. It is in this direction. So what is this F12 means? That the charge, the force on the charge 1 due to charge 2. Okay, this one is on a notation we are going to use over here. All of you get it? Write it down. F12 means that charge on the 1 due to the charge on 2. So this one is one direction. This one is charge on the 2, sorry, force on the 2 due to the charge on a 1. Now, this one is the mathematical equations of the Coulomb's law. So as I already told you that if there are the 2-point charges Q1 and Q2, then the force between them is force, here it is denoting with the notation as an F. This Q1 and Q2 are the 2 charges. So this force is directly proportional to the product of magnitude of these charges Q1 into Q2 and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Please write it down. Okay. So this inverse is directly proportional is going to be replaced with constant value. So we can say that F is nothing, it is equal to K. K is nothing but called as a constant of proportionality. K into Q1 into Q2 divided by R square. Now this Q1 small and capital both have the same one. Just for the ease I have just given this kind of notations. All of you get it? All of you get it, the Coulomb's law? Can anyone just tell me? All of you get it? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What is
Yes,
just telling that? The force is directly proportional to product of charges and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Now this proportionality is going to be replaced with some kind of a constant, that is F is equal to K into Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Now what is this proportionality constant is given by? This proportionality constant is given by 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. What is this? The K value is given as 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0. What is this epsilon? It is nothing but called as the permittivity of free space. Please all of this write it down because this will be required. All of you please write it down. That is F is equal to K into Q1 Q2 divided by R square. and K value is given as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. So at the end, we will come to conclusion that this F is equal to 1 upon, I will be put down over here, the K value, it is nothing but 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0, and this Q1 into Q2 into R square will be remains as the same one. Okay, so this one is a value of K. K is called as a proportionality constant. It will be appear by replacing this proportionality sign with the equal sign. So in short, F will becomes as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q1 Q2 divided by R square, where this epsilon 0 is called as the permittivity of free space. What is its value? This all whole one, the K value is just given as, the epsilon 0 is given by as value is 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12. Write it down. What is the value of epsilon 0? It is given as 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 Coulomb square divided by Newton meter square. This one is the value of the epsilon 0. It is nothing but called as permittivity of free space. All of you get it? All of you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
The value of the course. Now we are just going to seeing that one kind of another discussion. It is a quite simpler one. Here we are assuming that the charges are in a free space. If the charges are any another electrical medium, then this epsilon that we are just going to just see here, it is an epsilon 0 we are just considered this epsilon 0 for the free space. If the medium is not the free space, if there is one another kind of a medium, you can say that if it is a dielectrical medium, then instead of writing only epsilon 0, we are writing just simply as the epsilon, and that epsilon means epsilon 0 into epsilon r. Here epsilon 0 is nothing but a free space, and epsilon r is called as the relative permittivity or the dielectrical constant. All of you get it? So whenever there is a free space, if your charge is placed in a free space, you have to write as an epsilon 0. If the medium is other than the free space, probably if it is in a dielectrical medium, then you should have to write down simply as an epsilon, and this epsilon is nothing but epsilon 0 into epsilon r, where epsilon 0 is the permittivity in a free space, and this epsilon r is nothing but the relative permittivity. Okay. So please remember this. It will be required to solving the numericals as we have just moved in the further one. Okay, we have already seen that the SI units or the what is the charge Q1 and Q2 are expressed in coulombs, and R is distance. Distance is expressed in meters, and force is SI unit is Newton. It is just for your kind information. You may already known it, but this one is just as a preliminary. All kinds of backgrounds are given. All of you get it? So this one is related with the force. So here again I am just going to be tell you that another same things. If that is in some another kind of positions the charges are available. So this one is an origin. There are the two charges Q1 and Q2 are placed. Then while solving the problems, what we have to be considered. Now this one is O to Q. This distance is denoted with R1. This O to Q2, this distance is denoted with R2, and the distance between Q1 and Q2, it is denoted with capital R. All of you get it? So this one is nothing but the generalized notation. Now F12 bar, where it is? It is F12 bar represents the force on which charge? On 1. First is the 1. So the charge is on Q1 due to Q2. All of you get it? So this one is F12 bar. Again, this one is a force is the vector quantity. the direction is required where the force is experiencing the charge, and that's why the force is the vector quantity. It will be always represented within a bar on the or arrowhead over here, and that's why the sequence that we are writing over here, that one is also important because it indicates the direction. So F12 means what? The force experiencing by the, it is on the charge 1 due to charge 2. Similarly, we can say that F21 bar means what? It is the force on charge 2 by the charge 1. That means due to the Q1, it is just Q2 experiencing some force, and that is denoted with F21. Due to the Q2, or it is going to be attracted, then Q1 experiencing some kind of a force due to Q2, and it is nothing but 1, 2. Okay, so whenever we are calculating the final force, we should have to be mention the direction, and for that these notations are important. The first one is the which one is experienced, and second one is the responsible. So F12 is force on the charge Q1 due to charge Q2. Okay, so this one is important for while solving our numericals. All of you get it? All of you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Now, just go with. Here in some books you can, this one is just for your kind information, in some book it is also given in this format, that is the charge are separated by the distance. It is just given with the R, that here this one is this charge, both of the charge Q1 and Q2 are separated by the distance R. This distance R is given as, again this one is on a distance, so you will be required, distance is on a vector quantity or scalar quantity? Distance 5 kilometers. So this is given with R1 minus R2, or it is given by R2 minus R1 depending on the direction. Okay, so distance can be calculated by R1 minus R2 or R2 minus R1. This subtraction will be based on which force we are expecting, that is from Q1 to Q2 or from Q2 to Q1. Okay, so that's for that we will be required. The thing that what I want to say over here is that you have to calculate the distance from which one is given with the individual charges. And in some cases, we also require the unit vector of this, and we are going to be calculated as it is, that is magnitude divided by unit vector. It is nothing but the magnitude and the distance between that. Okay. Now, this one is the some kind of points that we are required while solving the problems based on the Coulomb's law. Okay, you can, if you want, you will be just summarize this one, or you can note it down, that whenever we are there is a problem depending on the Coulomb's charge, Coulomb's law, we have to be calculate the force obviously. So for that, first of all, we should have to decide the directions. And for the direction, for the easiness, we have to be first, if possible, first of all, draw the neat sketch of that according to the given data into the problem. Then find a vector joining these charges and pointing towards the charge on which we will be required the force. Join it, find the vector joining these charges, that is from Q1 to Q2 or from Q2 to Q1. First of all, we should have to be find out this vector quantity, and then these charges and pointing towards the charge on the force to be determined. For example, while finding the force on Q1, that is denoted with F1. Okay, so F1 is nothing but a force on Q1. The arrow of the vector points towards the Q1 while finding. Means what? Whenever I am saying that F1 bar means that this one is on a force towards the charge Q1. Similarly, when I am saying that F2 bar means what? It is the force pointing towards the Q2 towards, please remember this is the important word, towards the Q1, towards the Q2. Okay, so these are the forces which were experienced by the individual charges. Then find the unit vector in the direction of vector. Okay, find the unit vector in the direction and the length of the vector itself. Okay, length of the vector, and then we are using the Coulomb's law to find the force between them. Okay, all of you just remember these steps. I'm going to be explaining. Okay, so we are just started down to calculate or to solve one problem over there. What is this problem? Let's consider there are the 2-point charges Q1. What is this value? It is 2 microcoulomb. Q1, it is one charge. Q2 is the another charge. Please write down this example. Be fast. Please write it down. A point charge Q1 is equal to 2 millicoulomb is located in a free space at P1 minus 3, 4, minus 4. While charge Q2 is 5 millicoulomb is at P2 2, 4, minus 1. And we have to find F2 and F1. Okay. Now, what is the given data? Given data is we are getting the two charges Q1 and Q2. Q2 charge is of an 2 millicoulomb and Q2 is the charge of an 5 millicoulomb. The Q1 is resting at one position in free space. What is this position? It is at the point P1 whose location is minus 3, 7, minus 4. If there is no any coordinate system is given, by default you will be assume it is the rectangular or Cartesian coordinate system. That is, this charge Q1 whose value is 2 millisecond, it is located in a free space at the point whose name is P1 at location minus 3, 7, minus 4. Similarly, charge Q2 is located at P2 whose location is 2, 4, minus 1. All of you get it? So, we have to calculate the F2 bar and F1 bar. What is this F2 bar means? It is the force due to charge Q2. What is this F1? It is nothing but the force due to charge Q1. Okay. Now, what is the first thing we are going to be deal over here is that to calculate the force, we know that how to calculate the force, it is with the help of a Coulomb's law. Okay. So, what is this R12 means? Can anyone tell me? What is this R12? What is this R12? Anyone? R12 means what? What is the first point here we have? Find the vector joining these charges. Find the vector joining these charges. These charges means what? There is a Q here. This one is on a charge Q1. It is located at minus 3, 4, 7, minus 4. Here is the charge Q2. It is located at 2, 4, minus 1. Okay. Now we are saying that they are separated within a distance capital R. Now there is the vector joining these two charges. Got it? When I'm moving from, there is a vector, I'm joining these two charges. And now I'm saying that I'm moving from charge Q1 to Q2. Isn't it? This one is basic, we have just seen. So this arrowhead, it is starting point is 1. Ending point is 2. So this vector I'm saying that it is from 1 to 2. And that is denoted with R bar 1, 2. Means what? It is the vector whose starting point is P1 and ending point is P2 denoted with 1, 2. Then how you calculate this vector? Can anyone tell me? Be fast. How you can tell me what
P2 minus P1.
Yes, P2 minus P1. End point minus start point. Are you getting? It is 1, 2. So start point is 1. End point is 2. So you have to start and minus of start. So 2 minus of minus 3, it will becomes as plus 5 ax bar. 4 minus 7, it is nothing but minus 3 ay bar. Minus 1 minus of minus 4, it is plus 3 az bar. All of you get it? And minus start. So respective x, y, z coordinates are going to be subtracted from the Q1. Then we will be get as an R12. All of you get it? So it will becomes like this one. Now you have to calculate the unit vector of this R12. How you calculate the unit vector? Vector divided by its magnitude. Vector divided by its magnitude. How you calculate the magnitude? It is nothing but 5 square plus 9 square plus 3 square. 25 plus 9 plus 9. It will become as a 43. So this one is a vector moving from 1 to 2 and this one is a unit vector. Okay. Now we have to calculate the force first of all on the 2. So how we can calculate? Force is equal to, we have already given with the Coulomb's law, we can say that force is directly proportional to product of the charges and square of distance between them. The proportionality constant is K. K value is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. Okay. So this one is nothing but a Coulomb's law. You have force is the vector quantity. So you have to indicate it with the unit vector. So F2 is nothing but a force on 1 due to charge. F2 is nothing but force on the, what is this F2? What is this F2 means? Force on the charge 2. That is force. F2 means force on the charge 2 due to the charge 1. Okay. Force on the charge 2 due to charge 1. So this one is in the direction from 1 to 2 and we have to be calculate the unit vector on this direction. Okay. So it is a bar 1, 2. Put down the values of this Q1 and Q2. So Q1 is 2. It is millicoulomb. So you have to give as a minus 3. Q2, it is a 5 millicoulomb. So it is of the 10 raised to minus 3. 4 pi epsilon 0, it is given as 4 pi epsilon 0. This is the value of the, in some cases, this kind of 1 upon 36 pi. It will be given as the same value. So you can use any kind of value over here. And R square we have already calculated. What is this R square means? What is this R square? It is the square of the distance, means its magnitude. So distance will become as 43. So it will become as root 43 bracket square. All of you get it? Into this unit vector a bar 1, 2. A bar 1, 2 will be this one value. It will be put down as it is. Okay. Now we have to be multiplied this. Just solving all this 1 divided by 4 pi and all these numerical value, it will becomes as 319.183 and this vector will be remains as it is. Now this 319 into 5 and it is going to be multiplied and this one is nothing but an force value on the charge 2 due to charge 1. Okay. Now it is your task that calculate the force on the F1 due to the charge 2. Similar the things you have to be repeated in the same equation. Okay. All of you get it? Please write down this example in your notebook. Try to solve it with yourself. If it is not get, please personally call me. I will again explain. You have another lecture right now. So I am going to be stop it now. Just a minute. I will be take out the attendance over here. And now we will be going to be leaving. So please just give me the roll numbers. It is 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It is 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27. 5, 6, 7. Okay. So this one is okay. We are going to be stopped now. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can please leave the meeting.